Hello, everybody. Hi, Vampire Penguins. Like I was just talking to you. Okay, I'm so excited to keep playing this. We are on night 13. It's crazy. I feel like this game is going by so fast. I hope everyone is doing well today. Yay, it's Huddy. It's me. It's me, Huddy. Oh, let me just get my crap set up here. I thought I would be running late because my dog, sometimes he makes me run early and sometimes he makes me run late. But he sort of made me run on time today. Okay, so I have some really exciting news. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but sort of got reached out to by Outstar and me and the Primogen, who I'm sure a lot of you follow the Primogen. We're in discussion with Outstar about maybe doing something. That's pretty much all that I'll say about it. Hi, Wesley. Oh my god, it's Wesley. I've never seen you on my stream before. That's crazy sauce. So if you don't know who Outstar is, I'm sorry. But she's basically the Vampire Masquerade queen of YouTube. She has 40,000 subscribers and 11,000 Twitter followers, and she is the be-all, end-all, pretty much, in my opinion, of Vampire Masquerade stuff. And yeah, she reached out to me and Primogen, and she may or may not collab with us, but that's pretty much all I'll say about that. We are in talks literally right now. I'm streaming right now, so I can't talk. And another very exciting thing is I hit 550 subscribers this morning, which is crazy because I've hit 500 subscribers at December 1st. So yeah, my channel is going really well, and I couldn't be happier. It's such a great way to end the year, start off the new year, however you want to look at it, and I'm so excited. But let's talk about Coteries of New York. Let's talk about how amazing it is. So, in the last part, we helped Tamika and Raul. Just got the notification for once congrats on the possible Outstar collab. Thank you, Wesley. I hope everything's going well with you and Katie. It's been forever since I've seen you guys on the YouTubes. Yeah, sorry. So we met Tamika and Raul. We helped Tamika sort of deal with the feral. We continued on with learning about the Red Hook murders, and we met Valerie, I think her name was, a scourge, and we killed Frank Doherty, because everyone in the chat was sick of his shit, and so was I, so that's totally fine. And I think we also met with Hope, and I'm of the opinion, and Hope has a mortal enemy named Kara, and I'm almost positive, because Hope's a Malkavian, that Hope and Kara are the same person. I'm like 100% sure. It can't be any other way. It's such a Malkavian thing. It's very Jeanette and Therese Foreman from Bloodlines. So, what I would like to do in this part, since we talked to D'Angelo, Tamika, and Hope in the last part, I would like to meet up with Agathon again, Benoit, and try and figure out who our stalker is. We tried last time, and she just disappeared into the night. I assume it's a she based on the picture, but I'm not really sure. And of course, as I hope for every stream, I hope that Kadir will make an appearance because he's my man. And I just love me, okay? Alright, so, Juno and Agathon. Juno, the notes, you find the mystery of Agathon's research tantalizing enough to pay him a visit. Frank had to die, I have no regrets. I know, you were the champion of the chat, Charles, of just eating Frank and just being done with his crap. And you know what, I respect that. Honestly, I respect that. All right, so if you remember Agathon, he is the Tremere. We met him and his sire, Aslin. I'm not sure if that's how you say that correctly. That's just how I say it, Aslin Sturbridge, which so far she is the only other character that I'm like, okay, she's kind of hot. Other than that, I'm not really fond, like not fond in a romantic kind of way of the other characters. I do like them for different things. And he did some sort of ritual in the hotel where we first became a vampire, and I don't know, he mentioned something about somebody named Juno, and now we're supposed to, I don't know, help him. It's strange. It's a mystery. We need to figure it out. Yeah, whether he likes it or not, he's my man, okay? And keep your hands off my man. And it's so weird because he's a Toreador, and I'm like, out of all of the clans, like, I'm like the least fond of Toreadors. Ugh, my setup is so bad. I can't wait till after Christmas is over and change everything around like I do every year. You know what to expect when you return to the small bookstore serving as Agathon's haven. The cacophony of occult imagery assaults you from the book covers displayed on the window, but under the fake facade, there's something real. This time, the Buddhas and the satanic Bibles of the storefront seem almost funny, or perhaps you've just started to tune into the dry humor of these Tremere. I get very few positive comments about the Tremere in my comments. Just as you're about to ring the doorbell, the door opens and Agathon storms out. You step aside just in time to avoid having him stumble into you. Huddy, what are you doing here? That's my British accent. Hey, don't be a dick. I came to help you. Like last time. Okay, fine. You're right. Follow me. As he turns to go, Agathon almost looks pleased that you're here. Agathon walks to his car with you in tow. It didn't occur to you the last time, but it's a surprisingly pedestrian vehicle, an aging mid-sized family sedan. You imagine what it would look like with a baby seat in the back. Oh, well, it's too late for my biological clock to be ticking. I'm the undead now. Oh. Opening the door on the driver's side, Agathon notices your look. Laugh all you want, but it's inconspicuous and practical. You sit in the car, God, that look, and Agathon starts driving in his usual careful style. At least he'll never be stopped by traffic cops. It seems Agathon is not interested in small talk. Well, if he's not interested in small talk, and I'm not interested in romancing him by forcing small talk, I'm just going to stay silent. You decide that it's best to let Agathon drive in peace. Agathon is very comfortable driving in silence. You look out the window, wondering at the ordinary lives of the people you pass by. Suddenly, Agathon snaps you out of your reverie. I love that word. Let me ask you something, Huddy. Do you enjoy the hunt? Not really. I would say not really. Oh, sorry, my gross tea. I would say as a Ventrue, the hunt is probably a lot more irritating than it is for other kindred, just because they have such particular tastes. So I would say no. Don't mind if you can hear my dog. He's just sucking on the Kong I gave him, shoved full of peanut butter and banana and stuff. No, I just can't get over the fact that I used to be one of these people, the prey, a short time ago. Even if it feels good in the moment, in the long run, it doesn't. I know how that feels. Many kindred are suspicious of the Tremere, but I believe that we are on the verge of discovering something that will be a great boon to our kind. For a second, Agathon sounds so sincere, you take a look at him to make sure he isn't joking. Doesn't seem so. Does this look like the face of somebody who's joking? My God. Well, Matthew, you're one of, like, the first people who actually likes the Tremere. If you take a look at my comments, so many people are anti-Tremere, which I'm not necessarily anti-Tremere. I think they have a really sordid history, but they are arguably the most powerful clan in Modern Knights, and I know in V5 they have their clan weakness, or if you even want to call it that, is like obsessive perfection. They need to get everything just right, or it becomes an obsession that they just can't get over. But arguably they have no real clan weakness, and they are the most powerful clan. So, but I get the hate. Yes, Wesley, Kongs are a lifesaver, and I've been telling that to Katie since you guys got, is it, actually, because I've only seen it written, is it Navarre or Navarre? I'm not sure, and I don't know the word, so I'm not sure how you pronounce it. You exit Manhattan over the Brooklyn Bridge and soon reach the site of the nightclub that seems to be your destination. It's on the riverfront, a converted former warehouse. After Agathon has parked the car, it's time for you to enter the nightclub. You glance at the Tremere, evaluating him. It's obvious this is not his kind of place. You may have worked in finance, but your colleagues got to some crazy shit if they did enough cocaine. You're not a party girl, but you don't stand out in a nightclub. Agathon does. So it's Navarre with a silent E? Okay. There's a good chance the research notes are here. Research notes? I don't know if I even care. Let's just see what he does, because last time we asked him a bunch of questions and he still did a weird blood ritual in the hotel, so let's just see what he does. Let's not waste any time. Excellent. I doubt he'd explain it to me anyway, because I'm not a Tremere. There's a line to the club. It looks like a popular night, even if based on the crowd, this is not exactly a place for supermodels and celebrities. I could charm the bouncer, but let's just wait in line. You join the line with Agathon. He looks uncomfortable, as if he had hoped that you could somehow get you in faster. Look. Come on. Let's not forget the Masquerade. Even if I used presents to get us in, I mean, I could have, I guess, but I figured a bunch of people in line and we just walk up there, neither of us looking like we belong in said club, would look quite suspicious. Let's just apologize. I'm sorry we have to wait. It can't be helped. There are too many people for us to try anything. Hi, Ethan. Welcome to the stream. I really like the art style of the game. Yes, the art, this is just basically like a visual novel RPG, and it's getting a lot of very strange reviews on Steam, at least in my opinion, because they're complaining that they're like reusing backdrops and things like that, but I'm sorry, this is a small indie developer out of Poland, and the amount of work that went into this art is just, it blows my mind. It's amazing. I don't care that they reuse it. Plus, this is taking place in a very small borough of Manhattan. There's not going to be that much difference in how it looks anyway. If you say so. If you stand in line for, no, you stand in line for 15 minutes, but eventually you get past the bouncer and step inside. The music beats down on you, bringing with it memories of a human existence. The first time you went dancing with friends, when you flirted with someone on the dance floor. This time it's different. You're a predator and everyone around you is prey. Tightly packed, twitching sacks of blood and tissue. You sense the emotions all around you. Blood tinted with happiness, lust, rage, jealousy, love. A buffet of senses. Oh my god, it's Harry! Hi, Harry! Harry is so great, you guys. I need to stop and say this. Harry does Saratoga by Night, a podcast for Vampire the Masquerade, and he's awesome. And he's also in Primogen's Changeling the Lost game that Primogen puts up on his channel. And they stream it over on Twitch. And he's awesome. Everybody in the chat tell Harry how awesome he is, even if you don't know him. I'm back to be doing my British accent, which is just for you, Ethan, since you are the Brit in my chat. Focus. Keep an eye out for trouble while I look for what we came for. You nod and follow Agathon through the throng, trying to ignore all the warmth, flesh, and circulating blood around you. I don't need any blood, so I'm not going to drink from a club goer, and that would look a little hypocritical of me if I was like, no, Agathon, I can't charm the bouncer because there's too many people, but then I go into the nightclub and eat someone. I think that would be a little hypocritical of me, so let's just focus on helping him. Eyes on the ball. You came here to help Agathon, and that's what you'll do. Agathon wades through the dancing people purposefully, yet you have no idea how he searches for the missing research notes. Whoa, it's actually pulsing, or it was, and that was really cool. Perhaps he's using the enhanced senses of a vampire or some esoteric sorcery. At least he seems to know what he's doing. Yeah, I'm wondering, they Draw Distance said on Twitter that, or on Steam, I think, that they are going to release some DLCs, which I hope will come with more playable clans. So that might be something that you can look forward to. Maybe they'll incorporate stuff about the Sabbat. I don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you, Ethan, for telling him he's the best. Thank you, you guys. Hi, Skull Kid. Welcome to the stream. We're just hanging out with Agathon in a club. Okay, he's going to say Juno again, which we don't know what that is, if that's a person or not. You swerve to avoid a drunken man who was just about to spill beer onto you and try to see what Agathon is looking at. A young woman, intense, purposeful, a little out of place at the nightclub, just like you and Agathon. Is she looking for the notes too? They're not my research notes. but yes. The woman, Juno, elbows a drunken man out of her way and points a finger at Agathon's face. Agathon, you traitor! Don't you dare stand between me and what's mine. That's an interesting hairdo. You look at the woman in surprise. Her appearance stands in contrast with the anger in her words. You finished the game 2 days ago. Congratulations. What's wrong with the save system? I haven't had any issues yet. No spoilers, Skull Kid, please. I want no spoilers. Juno, you know Aslin will not let you leave with the notes. Perhaps she won't let you leave at all. Juno pulls closer to Agathon's face and stage whispers loudly enough for you to hear her over the music. You're still so brainwashed you care about what Aslin fucking Sturbridge wants. I'm done jumping through her hoops. I don't know what I saw in you, Agathon. You're such a lapdog. I'm just be standing back there going, let's not forget the Masquerade. They're not doing anything to break the Masquerade. Why would I even say that? I'll just ask if she's his ex, because I'm down for that pipe and hot tea. Sorry to interrupt, but is this woman your ex? Yes, we used to date. Maybe we still would if you weren't such a fucking coward, Agathon. That's not fair, Juno. It's fair and you know it. You're too busy licking Asling's boots to realize what we had. Aslin doesn't wear boots. Don't correct me. With a start, you realize Juno is genuinely upset. It's hard to say how long ago they broke up, but the wounds are still there. You're the kind of man who takes the side of his boss against his girlfriend. Juno's eyes glisten red with the blood of her tears. Well, now we could warn her about the Masquerade. You look at Agathon with uncertainty. I have no idea how you pull off that hairstyle, Ethan, I almost called you Ragnarok. Probably an unholy amount of hair gel. It was for your own good. Juno steps back, suddenly cold. Ignoring the people dancing all around, she stares hard at Agathon. The past is past. Traditions are dead to me. You won't stop me, Agathon. I'll make sure of that here and now. You know I have the power. No, Juno, please. No, please don't break the Masquerade, because everyone will blame me. Agathon sounds panicked. He's not worried about his own survival, but of the possibility that Juno is going to unleash a genuine Masquerade breach. This is just like when I was in high school, and I didn't want to go to prom, and my friends were like, come on, go to prom. It was a junior prom. And I'm like, fine. And then they're all outside and they're smoking, and then the principal comes out, and I'm the only one not smoking, and I got in trouble. It's exactly the same. Who would want to be 15 again? I don't want to use presents on her because I feel like that would make her madder. Especially since I'm probably nowhere near as strong as she is. Let's try and reason with her. Look around you. We're in a crowd of humans. If you start something here, it will be a Masquerade breach. Catching on, Agathon joins in to support your argument. Okay, so you can't reload a previous point in the save. That doesn't really bother me if you're playing an RPG like this. Because you can just skip through the dialogue really, really quickly. So if you wanted to just get certain achievements or whatever. I know I wouldn't be wrong to call you Ragnarok, but I'd never call you that. I call you Ethan because I talk to you on DMs all the time. Yeah, that is something that happened to me. Woburn High School, Melody. Woburn High School, man. What is the worst high school in Massachusetts, I swear. If you break the Masquerade, it won't be just Aslin Sturbridge who has it in for you. It'll be Kadir. Oh, Kadir? Really? Maybe we should let her break the Masquerade so he'll come here. Juno looks hesitant, worried. After a moment, she backs away. All right, you assholes. Arseholes. To be more British. I'll play it cool. She slides into the dancing crowd with her scarf. You see her move among the people, but it doesn't look like she'll start a fight. Give me a few seconds and I'll verify if the notes are here or not. You idle among the dancers, and Agathon prowls clumsily, out of place in the throng. Finally, he comes back to you. They were here, but not anymore. The ritual I performed is very reliable. We can go. I'm sure you remember that school. Do you remember when I came home one day and I told you that a piece of the yummy asbestos, exactly, a piece of the ceiling fell and almost hit me in the head when I was going to homeroom? The worst. Juno will probably waste some time trying to find the notes here, and that'll give us an edge. You leave the nightclub. Outside, you walk to Agathon's car and drive back over the Brooklyn Bridge to Manhattan, heading for Agathon's haven. Juno mentioned some things that are personal. I trust your discretion in not talking about those things to Aslin. Well, I'm not gonna lie to her, because I like her more than you. I do, though. I don't really care about you that much. I'm not gonna lie to her, alright? I won't start lying to your boss. If she asks, I'll answer. Agathon doesn't reply, but you can see his mood darken. I don't care. After a while, you reach Agathon's haven and he parks the car. You walk to the occult bookstore and Agathon asks you inside. The smell of incense assaults you as before, making you grateful not to have to breathe. You follow Agathon upstairs to find Aisling Sturbridge in an armchair reading an old book. She puts a bookmark in place as you come in. You are successful, I hope? No, I'm sorry. The notes had been there, but not anymore. That's a shame. I hope you won't run out of time. How did Sophie's little protege do? Agathon turns to look at you. Well, surprisingly well. That's a surprise. I'll have to give Sophie a compliment on her choice. We met Juno. Fortunately, she hasn't found the notes either. That's interesting. The High Regent turns to look at you. Agathon's ex, driven, angry. None of these things really say much to me, so I'll just say Agathon's ex. Juno and Agathon seem to have a lot of complicated history. You do, don't you, Agathon? If Agathon was still a human, he'd blush. As it is, he just looks miserable. Yes, but it won't affect my work. Anyway, I have some things to discuss with Agathon. Go along now. Okay. Whatever you say, lady. You leave the occult bookstore, the cheesy mystical music still in your ears as you walk away. You wonder about what happened with Juno. Why is she so anxious to leave her clan? Can she really do that? Could you leave Sophie's service if you wanted to? I don't know. That's a weird thing to ask me and then not give me an opportunity to respond. I hate tea. Okay, rest. A piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. It's a printout from a computer, a note, and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, if anybody is old enough in the chat, what was the name of, before Google Maps existed, there was a website called Map something, where everybody would use it to print out directions if they had to go somewhere, before Google Maps was a thing. I don't know if anyone's old enough in the chat to remember that, but it just flashed in my brain. It reads, meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there. Oh my god, please be from Kadir. My fingers are crossed. No signature. The place marked on the map is the lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed... Oh, it's not. Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. Alright, so that has to do with the quest that we're doing for Sophie. Where she wants us to sort of infiltrate the Anarchs and get in touch with someone named Torque. So it has nothing to do with Kadir, which is so disappointing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to not be nice to Agathon. It's just, he doesn't do anything for me. He seems, I don't know. There's no rapport there yet, so I'm just like sort of whatever about him. I do hate tea, but I drink it while I play this game, just because it coats the throat and helps me read all of the reading I have to do. Map Quest. Good job, you guys. I remember Map Quest. I don't know if it even exists anymore, to be honest. You go downstairs as early as you wake. One final check of the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and approach the meeting spot cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out to Manhattan. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something. Oh, I don't think that's Mia. It is true, but I do not think it true. If I do not think it true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then... I don't think that's Mia. I'm supposed to meet somebody here. I don't suppose that would be you? The woman turns around. It's not Mia. No, I don't think so. Whoever it is, you have never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. Why, yes, it's me. We are meeting now. You are meeting me. I am meeting you. Such joyous occasion. Right. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. So, you got a message. I did. What now? Now you come with us. The boss wants to meet you. Which boss? Torque? Oh, you mean Torque? What? You gotta be shitting me. Torque ain't the boss of jack shit. I mean boss Callahan, you dumbass. Okay. I suggest you get a move on. We got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Well, we can do it the hard way. What do you guys think? You think I should go with him to meet Callahan, or you think I should resist and do a good old-fashioned beat him up? Not old enough to know what MapQuest is. Hi, Johan. I hope I said that correctly. That's how we would say it here in Germany. MapQuest that's old school. That's way old school. Yeah, well, Ethan, you're like 21. You're like a baby. Well, go ahead and Google it and see if it still exists, MapQuest. Callahan is a piece of work. I'm sure he is. That's why I'm curious to see if I should resist and tough it out, because I kind of want to. I kind of want to fight this guy with his stupid faux hawk haircut. Well, if I'm going to get captured anyways, then I'm going to at least make him work for it. You know, exactly. I'm not going to go down without a fight. I'm a Ventrue. I don't like being told what to do. Okay? Unless it's Kadir telling me what to do, then I like it. You rush the man and hit him, bracing for an unpleasant beating. A shriek fills your head. It's the woman. She's making you feel small and weak. Oh, my. The 2 other men join in. Kicks, punches, you barely feel them. You fight back fiercely, land a few good hits. A baseball bat breaks on your shoulder. A poorly aimed stake scrapes your chest, slides off the ribcage, breaks on the pavement. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Always when I talk so much, get the hiccups. The wailing of the woman drowns out everything until all you can think of is that you need to make her shut up. She must obey. You're weak, bruised. They keep hitting you and hitting you and hitting you. You stop resisting. Finally tenderized. Gonna be a nice girl now. Stupid bitch. Load her on the boat, boys. They drag you along. You want to resist, but they got you right where they want you. It will take a while for your blood to give you back the strength to fight. A rickety motorboat is waiting at the pier, and they throw you in. The engine starts. You're off to somewhere. It's hard to tell, especially after they throw a cloth bag over your head. Damn. Yeah, I'm exposing you, Ethan. I'm exposing you for being just a lovely young man. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember before cell phones. I'm old enough to remember when everyone had like the crappy Nokia cell phones, and everyone had to save their minutes for the weekend, and like I would take mine to we had one phone for the whole family, one cell phone, and I would take mine to school and I'd give it to my mom, and my mom would take it, you know, when she would go to church or work or whatever, and it was like the emergency cell phone we somehow shared between 3 people, because I'm really old. It takes 15 or so minutes to reach your destination, you think. The engine dies down, and you are led onto shore, and then further, up some incline, through some overgrowth. 10 more minutes of walking, maybe, until a deep voice reaches your ears. Vincent, my dear boy, Why the hood over our guest's face? I'm not sure who's talking. I assume Callahan, but I don't know what voice I want to give him yet. Well, boss, I thought. No, 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 that will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think. You have to listen and do what you're told. Yes? Yes, boss. Well, take that ridiculous sack off their head, will you? The hood comes off. The owner of the deep voice is a curious sight. I can't do a deep voice, I'm a girl. Dressed in what can only be described as Victorian clothing with a monocle and graying red hair. Is this Callahan? Continue. Thank you. I don't think you're the youngest person in here, Ethan. Bye, Vampire Penguin 09. Bye, sweetie. I love you. Have a good time with your baby. I had a freaking Firefly go like call my mom, my dad, and 911. Yeah, basically. I remember, you know, like text messages having limited number of characters and how much they would cost you per text message. It was terrible. And my parents being pissed if I ever sent out a text message. They're like, there's, you know, there's an extra 50 cents on our bill. It's the good life. Okay. Yeah, boss. Sometimes. A little. My dog is snoring. I believe you already know who I am. You're a dumb-looking motherfucker. No, you're the Anarch Baron. Ain't that the truth? Douglas Callahan is my name, but you may call me boss. Everybody does, with good reason. I have invited you here to have a friendly chat. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you, truly disappointed. But I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your infraction was. So, do you know why you're here? I feel like you're dying to tell me. I feel like you love to hear your self-talk. Don't get smart with me. He takes your face in his hands as Vince is holding you in a tight grip. He squeezes hard, looks you deep in the eyes. I did change my YouTube icon just because I wanted to see what it would look like. I wanted to see if the dimensions looked right. And really stupidly, I forgot that it takes time to switch back. Because I'm planning on changing my channel art for the new year. And I just had some time today. And then I saw, I saw when I put it in there, it's like, this will take 3 or 4 hours to change. And I'm like, crap. You know, because I wanted to change it back immediately. So it'll change back to my other one until I get the rest of the channel art done. I don't really like it yet, anyway. Talk is the reason you're here. Or that little angry strumpet of his, I'm told, yes? Mia? Oh, how I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it till it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman, and it's not the prudent thing to do. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is tolerate both her and that blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. If you ask me, it all went downhill when you woman folk got the voting rights. Made you believe you were on the level with us men. What a ridiculous notion that was. Ugh. Yep. I don't know what this red thingy is. Please just let me go. I don't know what that is. Why it's red. Can anyone tell me what that is before I click on it? Because I'm one of those people where I see something I don't recognize and I just click on it. Should probably get me in a lot of trouble someday. Yeah, I'm stupid. I haven't changed that icon in so long. I forgot it takes a while. That it doesn't go through YouTube. It goes through Google or whatever. So it takes a while to update or whatever. I have no artistic talent whatsoever. Although the channel art is made by me, it looks like garbage. Does anybody have any idea about the red mark? I would love to know. It's locked, meaning I can't click on it? Oh, well that's interesting. I'm not going to say you take that back or else, because I really could care less what he thinks about women. So I'm just going to say, finish with your rant. Yeah, he is a piece of work, absolutely. Yes, I did make the new art myself. I was just messing around this afternoon. Oh, Fledgling, You do not know who you're messing with. He looks at you with rage in his eyes, and you feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irrational fear takes over you. You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. He's too terrifying. Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions. The first of which is, who pointed you to Mia? Nobody. It was my idea. I'm brilliant. Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting? I needed Mia's help. With something. Oh, come on now. You'll have to be more specific than that. I need to know exactly what it was that you discussed. I wanted her to explain the anarchs to me. That's it. I asked her about the movement. Oh, child. You should have come to me then. I am the anarch movement in New York City, and nobody makes a secret out of it. You bet on the wrong horse, as I'm sure you'll learn. See, that wasn't hard now, was it? Of course, I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true, and how much of it is worth about as much as yesternight's horseshit. But I'll find out. I always do. When I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks. And maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. He gives Vince a sign, and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated. Nose wrecked. That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times, checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely. I am a man of principles. Another night I would perhaps put you in a casket and dip it in concrete, then dump it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the Roaring Twenties. Ah, it's been a while. But like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, and so the interests of this city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet with Torque. I will keep an eye on you, on him. If you want a place with the anarchs, you go through me, and only me. Got it? You have to understand, what I made my associates do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that, or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back, leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure making your acquaintance. Charming fellow. It's tied to your hunger. Okay. Yeah, he did. He messed me up real good. But that's fine. We can take it. We can take a few hits and come back swinging, sort of. Callahan walks away, and so does Vince and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling the blood slowly putting your body back together, your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling for sustenance, for safety, for revenge, a distant but pronounced third right now. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear as a victim of a mugging, more so than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver, that you hail a taxi passing by and head back to your haven. The whole way there, you are tempted by the beast. Your driver, a 30-something with a strong Slavic accent and an unpronounceable name on his ID, keeps asking if he should drive you to the hospital. You keep declining, all the while thinking that if you only asked him to pull over for 5 minutes, you could feast on his warm blood to the beast's content. Drink him whole. Nobody would know. Nobody but his wife and kids, if he has them. Nobody but his boss and company friends. Nobody but you as you look in the mirror tomorrow. Keeping your hunger at bay was never before as difficult as it is tonight. The driver stops at your apartment building. There is nobody around. You can do it. Do it now. Now. No. We're going to resist that. Thank you very much. You pay the driver and walk out, fast. Leave the car behind. Don't look back. Look back. Walk back. Feed. No. Through the door. Up the stairs. Key in the lock. Open the apartment. Walk in. Lock yourself in. The familiar four walls of your haven are a blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you have kept it at bay tonight. Not a small feat, given your state. Yes, vampires certainly do feel pain. They have certain disciplines, like fortitude, that will allow them to or certain clans have certain disciplines. One of them, for example, this clan, Ventrue, has fortitude that will allow them to sort of take the brunt of a lot of stuff without really feeling it and be able to just keep on swinging. And they will heal, of course, but the beast, what she's referring to is just, you know, the deep animalistic part of a vampire that just wants to rip open throats and just, you know, suck the whole life essence out of somebody, as opposed to just feeding, taking some, and leaving them alive. You are still weak. You're still not quite mended. You need to rest. Tomorrow you will have to feed again. Obviously. Tomorrow you will have to consider your next move. Next move. Callahan is not the kind of man who quits. But tonight you rest. Good Lord. Poor me. Broke my nose. Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you are pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well enough while you were resting. It comes with a caveat, though. The hunger you feel is pronounced, the beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision, following you. But the thing that is really remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling the phone you got from Mia. You pick up. Kept that old thing charged after all, huh? You alright? I feel like shit. Look, that's too bad, but I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Torque agreed to meeting you. There's a pub in the Bronx, Solids and Stripes. Be there tonight. Two things. No drinking on the premises, so if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the borough. And the meeting is exclusively no powers. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening. And also, we don't trust you. So keep it casual, or you blow it. Anything you'd like to add? I'll tell her Callahan forbade me from meeting Torque. I met Callahan yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbade me. That's what that should be. I know that's weird. Forbid is not a conjugated verb we use very often in English anymore. So, and forbade me from meeting Torque. I'm not sure I should be there tonight. Silence on the line. Fuck. More silence. Can't promise you any protection on your way there or the way back. But at the pub, you'll be in Torque's domain. For all his posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Torque directly. We'll post additional hangarounds on lookout. It's the best I can do. Callahan got you under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I've got to say is, the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I can't blame you. But it's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight, better be in good faith. She ends the call. First things first. That's my impression of like a stoner person from California. I don't know why, she just has that look about her. First things first, you take the subway to York Street Station, walking to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. We need to eat, so... I'm not telling Sophie we can't meet with Torque, but let's eat first. You've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kinds of predator you are, what kind of predator you are, and what kinds of blood you crave. I don't know. Every anarch wants to meet in a pub. It's like their favorite meeting spot. Yeah, the last round. Nines is hangout. You are so caught up in yesterday's problems and in this cloak and dagger debacle you're a part of now, that the hunt feels almost automatic, wow, and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them, and drink from them, you find you've forgotten their face and what they were dressed like. It only hits you once you look yourself in the eye in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down this spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, you clouded it further, and you are still no closer to a decision. Go Let's drive around before going to the meeting. Just maybe we'll spot somebody. Suspicious looking. You do intend to visit Torque tonight, but you decide to first drive around a bit. Something tells you there might be somebody tailing you. It sounds sensible to try to lose them. You spend a good 2 hours looking in your rearview mirror and driving all around the city before finally driving into the Bronx. You take some... Ooh, look at the moon. I like it. You take some basic precautions as you enter Torque's turf. You park a few streets across from where the pub is and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. Which is interesting that they use the word pub, because although I have, you know, I'm from America and I've been around places where the bar is called such and such pub, we don't really use that colloquially to talk about a bar. We won't say a pub, we'll say a bar. A pub, I'm pretty sure, is more of British colloquialism. That kindred, for the most part, look no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final look around. There's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it, a constant mist hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clinking of glasses tells you all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the address right. You're wondering if you got the address right. Not go. You apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around. Took your sweet time to get here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone followed you? Not that I know of. Fair enough. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You did well enough at the bar, I guess. There are plenty of Sams in this city, but I think I have a good theory on who it was that sent Bruce to spy on me, so thanks for that. Torque was happy enough with the results you got too. Here's your chance. Don't blow it. Are they playing, what is that on, that's supposed to be Humphrey Bogart? And, my god, the name of the woman from Casablanca, Ingrid Bergmar, however you say her name. Is that what that's supposed to be? No, I'm not that old, but I have watched Casablanca 1,000 times. Yeah, pub is a British thing, I thought so. You walk towards one of the tables. A guy in a coat and a hat leans over to take his shot. The table is clean of his balls. Is that a euphemism of some kind? He's way ahead of the opponent, but the 8-ball is in a tricky position. Hey, they're here. Be with you in just a moment. Oh, he's awesome looking. The hit is fast, precise, and it sends the black ball exactly where the player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. That's that. Believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You paying up now, or you want to up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victor goes the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns his... That's me attempting to sound cool and jazzy. Which I'm not. Neither cool nor jazzy. He turns his full attention to you. The man's good-looking, if somewhat gaunt and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through to your core, but not in an unpleasant way. Name's Torque. I believe you're Huddy, Sophie Lang's new plaything. Is that right? Plaything? No. We're not lovers. Ha! Apologies then. With her, that's kind of the default, I hear. I did hear about your curious partnership, though. Forgive my being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know who it is I'm dealing with. So here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're with Langley, and Langley's Cam through and through, I'm told, what is it you've come to accomplish here tonight? Sophie wants to meet you. Here to spite Callahan. Sophie wants to meet you. That's what she said. She said to wait till I met with Torque and then told him, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm super old, but I'm not ancient. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not old enough to, like, you know, be well-versed in really old movies, although I am, because I'm a weirdo. I'm super old and a weirdo, okay? Is that better? Torque is dapper. He certainly is. Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boos Callahan. I'm supposed to be boss. I'm here to arrange that meeting. The fuck? I knew nothing about this tea. They lied to me. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. Please don't hit me. I've been beaten up enough already. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well, well, well. Ain't that an interesting proposition? You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline cam. It's a trap. Must be. It just might. It just might. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens in the back of the room. Hey, Torque, you, got, a guest. They're in the back. Mia, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Torque tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glowers at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she's in half a mind to chuck it at your face. You gotta be quite happy with yourself, bluffing your way in here. Well, this wasn't true when I first bluffed my way in, but it's definitely true now. Now I'm pissed at Callahan. I want him dead. It's not just Sophie I'm here for. It might have started as a task from Sophie, but I'm glad I could meet you in Torque. Don't hold it against me. Yeah, this game does have a lot of typos, I've noticed that. But, you know, it's a Polish company, so I'm letting it slide. I don't know what voice that is. That's just... Mia's in a lot of it so far, at least in this quest or whatever. I'm glad you enjoy my voices, Ethan. I think I sound like an idiot. No, I'm totally gonna hold it against you, and for a while. You made me look like a chump in front of Torque. Hera was beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of us... What? There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Torque appears from a door in the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Huddy, get over here too. You go up to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there's 5 other people in there with you. Torque is ushering you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears. Motherfuckers, you gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up so bad, you're gonna wish he didn't fuck you up so bad. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Huddy? I have a score to settle. Let's just put it like that. You're fucked. You're so fucked. You're gonna wish I didn't fuck you up so much. You stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened. It's like, I imagine there's like wind going through the space between his ears. That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf. I am juggling a lot of voices, but I sort of just let go and just be silly and not really worry about how accurate they are. Go fuck yourself. You're done. The boss will know this stupid piece of shit Fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means, Torque? No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince? Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll just say you've gone sucking Langley's tits, and all those buddies of yours, gone. You're done, Torque. Well now, if that's the case, I guess ridding New York City of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, here's an idea. Vince mentioned he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Huddy? You want to repay the favor? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Gladly. Go right ahead. Oh, I can't stake him because I don't have enough blood. Damn. Hurt him. A lot. You hit Vince. Once, twice. He's chuckling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph and keep hitting him. And again. More. Until he stops laughing. He's bruised, battered, broken. The two Anarch dudes let go of him, and you kick him some more as he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Torque's voice. Enough's enough, Huddy. He takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee. Stake him. Take him downstairs. Let's keep Callahan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. Mia takes the sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. The other two Anarchs take him outside of the room. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince in his unmatched wisdom shared more than Callahan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Huddy? It was a Second Inquisition effort here in New York City. A single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before or since. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here or there. No major players were hit. They just managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Yeah, I was really happy to beat him up. Wish I could have staked him, but I actually would rather have beaten him up. It seems more satisfying. Us, though, we got hit hard, all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone, just like that. Nobody saw it coming. Barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently but surely. Others, like my child Barb or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Callahan. We thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B manages to excuse himself from the museum on Staten Island, where we used to meet up, just before vans full of guys in his body armor show up? How is it that as my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds, I also see Doug Callahan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI? We think the bastard knew that what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us, some of our brothers and sisters who got hit, had some of the lowest profiles in the city's lick population. The moral of the story? Callahan is an opportunistic motherfucker. And if even his thickest followers suggest he's gonna sell me out, then that's what he's gonna do, as sure as the sun rises. He pauses for a moment, and you see him reaching a decision. You said something about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault. What? It might be your fault in part that I'm at this juncture, but now's going to be as good a time as any to listen to what she has to say. I don't think that's wise, T. Well, what would you have me do then? You said it yourself. It's all this fledgling's fault. They brought this on us, so let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callahan wants them. Langley needs them. They're valuable. I'm sorry, but don't sell me out, please. Don't be a dick. Guys, I'm sorry it turned out this way. I really am. I'm just a messenger in this. Don't throw me under the bus. That's just it. CT, they're just a messenger. What if this whole thing was planned? What if Langley is looking to score brownie points with the prince and this is all a setup? If that's the case, then we're beyond the point of no return anyway. So what if Callahan wants this fledgling? He wants us out of the picture. He'll find a reason, if not tonight, then soon. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Count on it. He smiles, then takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up, personally, and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting, the 2 of you, the 2 of us. Nobody else. And third, the meeting is public, downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy, we check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that, though. You seem likable enough. The cam hasn't gotten its talons in you yet. Keep it up, and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. Oh, my throat. Really bad today. I'll repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best be on your way. Ask for me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to reach me. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Mia walks you to the front door and accompanies you to your car. Listen, about what I said before. I hope you're about to apologize for being a dick. Sorta. More like explain myself. I panicked. That's all that was. It was unfair what I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself, and that makes me angry with you. I forget it. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what you're bringing with you. Huddy, good evening. How is your task going? Have something for me, perhaps? I did what you asked. The meeting is set up. Excellent. Experienced any problems? Yeah. Torque doesn't trust you. Torque doesn't trust you. He has a list of conditions if you want to meet him. I would assume that's the case. Well, let's hear it. What did Torque agree to? You relate the Anarch leader's conditions, that you are to pick him and Mia up, that the meeting should only include the four of you, and should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about that Mia character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? She tried to sell me out. She did, but Torque trusts her, so. Well, Torque trusts her, so we can too, I think. That's all that blood loss. Very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yards, the vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight... She seems to have made up her mind. Yes. Bring them there tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. Tomorrow? So soon? I don't think they're expecting me back so soon. Yes, tomorrow, for reasons that shall be made obvious when we talk. Pick them up at midnight, then drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes, within reason. I'm counting on you, Huddy. The final piece of the puzzle is about to find its way to its destination, and after that, we all get our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Please don't. No, I don't. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. No. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. A figure of speech, darling. Or at least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I am growing fond of you, and success whets my appetite for these kinds of things. The sexual tension in the room becomes insufferable until it suddenly disappears. Was this another one of Sophie's tricks, or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? Ew, no. Thank you very much. Not ew because she's a woman. I'm married to a woman. Just ew because I don't like her. Don't like her and I don't trust her. You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore, or did you just imagine it? Use the rest of this night well, Huddy, and rest. We are but a day's sleep away from shaking the city awake. Okay, thank you. I know, lips off, lady. No means no. Christ. She's just a Toreador, and they want what they want, and they usually get it. All right. Well, now we've taken care of another part of Sophie's quest, and we've taken care of part of Agathon's quest, which, again, Agathon's quests are so short, and there's so little information because the Tremere are so, like, weaselly. They don't want to share information with anybody. So let's go ahead and meet with Benoit. Benoit, we met with him, I don't remember which part 2 maybe. He sent us a note to have us meet at the Cathedral. We went in, we met a priest, and the light of the priest really freaked us out because he's, pure and holy. And so yeah, I was really interested by that, so let's go meet him again. Yeah, I know, I'm never going to see Kadir again. It's all over. I miss him so much. You've started to look at churches differently since your last encounter with Benoit. You're not sure what happened inside, but it was unavoidably real. You felt it. When Benoit mentioned that being in the presence of Father Anthony's faith would eventually kill someone like you, an undead being, you believed him. It doesn't seem to be very common, though. In New York, you pass thousands of people every night, and none of them have made you feel so afraid and insignificant. If you were to encounter someone like Father Anthony in the subway or a nightclub, you would know. There are many churches in the 5 boroughs, and you're pretty sure most of them don't contain someone whose faith can touch you in this way. Yet you've become wary. They just might. Still tonight, the cathedral looks as before, a striking landmark acting as a symbol of faith for people who have no idea that vampires exist in their midst. For them, questions of faith and myth are theoretical or philosophical. For you, those same questions suddenly define the meaning of your new existence. You sneak into the cathedral like an old hand, as if going to church had been a regular part of your life. Inside, the cathedral is almost deserted. You're not sure if you'll be meeting Benoit alone. The idea of feeling Father Anthony's faith on your undead flesh freezes you with terror. Benoit is waiting for you in the front pews of the cathedral in the exact same spot where you saw Father Anthony. Worried, you approach, but you don't feel the touch of faith that shook you before. Benoit nods as you sit next to him in the pew. No, you didn't miss anything. I haven't seen him since we saw him before, since he took us to, picked us up and had us deal with our boss. He stuck a stiletto in his hand. Haven't seen him since. I miss him terribly. I have so many questions. I thought a lot about our last meeting. There are so many questions, and I'm not sure where I can find the answers. I can tell you some things, but you'll grow dissatisfied with me and want to find answers of your own. That quest will never end. You've had some time to think. I'm guessing you found the touch of Father Anthony's faith hard to ignore. For most people, God's presence is a question of faith. When I talk with Father Anthony, it feels like proof. Benoit is fervent, intense as he speaks. It's clear these questions have consumed his existence. Perhaps they'll consume yours too. I can't stop thinking about divine purpose. I know how that feels. It's clear we're here for a reason, but why? Benoit looks around reflexively to make sure nobody is listening. There are only a few people in the enormous cathedral, and they don't seem to be interested in 2 loners murmuring to each other in the front pew. It might seem like ancient history, things that happened thousands of years ago, but time works differently for our kind. If the stories are true, there are Methuselahs still in existence who walked the earth when Jesus was alive. The only problem is that old vampires lie. They adjust history to suit their egos. Well, let's focus on what we can verify then. Our blood, the effects of Father Anthony's belief? I suppose that would be the scientific approach. Still, I can't let go of the idea that the old stories will tell us something. This is how the story goes. God cursed Cain as punishment for the murder of Abel. Cain walked the nights shunned by humanity and drank blood to sustain himself. Even from the point of our origin, we are damned. However, the story becomes really interesting when we move forward. Cain creates more of our kind, often referred to as the second generation. They lived in the first city, later called Enoch, ruling openly over the city's human inhabitants. I see the first city as Cain's redemption. Cursed by God to wander, he remade himself a ruler and lawgiver, acting as an immortal shepherd to humanity. It only started to go wrong when the second generation begat the third, and vampires started to run amok. The third generation would be the antediluvians, by the way, the modern progenitors of the modern clans that we see in the Vampire the Masquerade. So the third generation, also known as the antediluvians, who founded the great vampire clans. You can trace a direct lineage of blood to the antediluvian of your clan. We know much more about them than we know about the second generation. After the first city, Cain largely departs the story. Perhaps he was disheartened by the depredations of his descendants, The antediluvians went on to build a second city, in imitation of the first, but it's doubtful their rule was just. There are people moving in the cathedral, and both you and Benoit have made sure none get close enough to hear you talk. Yes, please, more Kadir stuff. That would be like my #1 request for more DLC. Many of the people you've seen have been elderly or disabled, so it's not surprising that you hear the squeak of a wheelchair. What alarms you more is that you overhear an older woman speaking with a Russian accent mention Father Anthony. I can't do a Russian accent very well. Let's find Father Anthony and see if he can help us. From what I've heard, he is an exceptional man. You turn to look and see 2 men and a woman. All 3 are in their 50s, clearly well-worn by life. One of the men pushes the woman in a wheelchair. She's dark-haired and intense, seemingly only half in this world. Yeah, exceptional, but he doesn't like moles. The speaker is shorter of the men, more animated and worried. He was probably a strong man in his youth, perhaps even an athlete. His voice carries a Midwestern accent. Well, I did the wrong one. We are only interested in whether he likes blank bodies. You and Benoit look at each other. This is bad news. Whoever these 3 are, they can't be good for you. I have no idea what they're talking about. We need to get out. Let's meet outside. Move discreetly to the side. Better not call attention to yourself. You decide to move to the side of the cathedral and pretend to pray at an altar. You walk casually towards the side, away from the 3 approaching mortals. You feel their eyes boring into your back, but you force yourself to be cool. Be cool, man. Benoit is nowhere to be seen. You blinked and he disappeared in a burst of speed. You're worried it was too conspicuous, but maybe the mortals missed it. You pretend to admire the architecture for a while before glancing back at the trio. They have settled at the exact spot you just occupied, apparently waiting for something and conversing in hushed tones. Once you're sure their attention is elsewhere, you start walking briskly down the side aisle towards the exit. That was a close call. Fuck you, Benoit. Although I've always wanted to say something like that in real life, I'm not going to say that. He used celerity or something to run away. Who were those 3? Did you recognize them? I might have, I'm not sure. There's talk of a few tenacious vampire hunters living in the city. One of them is supposed to be a woman in a wheelchair. For a second, Benoit looks at you as if he was wondering whether he should say something. There's one thing I've wondered about the story of Cain. The traditions of the Camarilla put a lot of faith in the relationship between sire and child. You're supposed to follow the example of your maker, yet Cain didn't really seem to care for the vampires he embraced. Did he think it was a mistake to create our kind? My sire left me, so I have no real opinion about that. Is that common among the kindred? Yes, unfortunately. The kindred are selfish and cruel. You know, I'm Sophie's child. Wow, really? And you're her protege. It's amazing that we share an appreciation for the mythologies of our kind, considering Sophie has little interest in questions of the spirit. Alright, this is Sophie's child, so he is a Toreador. That's super interesting. You stare at Benoit. You knew there was something he wasn't telling you, but in all the talk about Cain and the First City, you forgot about it. Now the only question is, what does this mean? Does Sophie know her child is talking to you? Probably not. Don't hold it against me, but I admit finding some pleasure in seeing you suffer the effects of Father Anthony's faith. I suppose that's the demon in me. I'm not your enemy. I understand that you're bitter, Benoit, but I'm not your enemy. I'm sorry, I know that. It's just that sometimes I too get tempted by sin. You know, we should meet again. We've talked so much about myth, but maybe that's cowardly when the reality of faith is right in front of us. I'll introduce you to Father Anthony. You nod, unsure whether that's a good idea. Benoit walks away and you follow his example, not wanting to hang around the cathedral any longer. Well, I don't like him so much anymore. Okay. He's weird. It's weird. He's Sophie's child and he's just hanging around and being weird. Okay. Well, I should have known. Sophie smokes and he smokes. I mean, so does D'Angelo, but D'Angelo's a Nosferatu with a cigar, so I guess that's a little different. Blank Bodies is the Inquisition's name for vampires. I did not know that. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Benoit is actually really cool. He's weird, though. I don't know what his... when I say weird, I don't mean, like, abnormal. I mean, like, I don't follow... I'm not picking up what he's putting down. I don't get his end game. So, it makes me wary. And I just tend to use the term weird as a catch-all term. Alright, let's rest again. You wake up. Ba-da! This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. Great. You try to move your arms and find they are tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit a cold ceiling. You can't quite believe it, but this is a coffin, or something close enough to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from outside. It's entirely dark. Try to break out. You kick the front of the container. The only reaction is a dull metallic sound. You try using your fists, but there's just not enough room to get a good punch. It seems pretty hopeless. Some more tries, nothing. This is bad. Suddenly, some slight movement of the container, a moment of silence, an indistinct male voice shouting, a muffled shot. Silence again. The lid comes off. What the? Where are we? Trouble is my business. Well, I'll be damned. The shitty fucker delivered the goods. The hell, D'Angelo, Jesus. Tell me I haven't just cut the driver up for nothing. Beast mode, it's Tamika. We gotta scram, and fast. Follow us. What's going on? Seeing their faces is surprising, even more so in these circumstances. You immediately realize that you're in danger, though, and follow your companions out of the car and into a street in North Bronx. The van has crashed into another car. A familiar face, that of Kaiser's ghoul Jackie, stumbles out of the wrecked sedan and slinks away into the darkness before you can call after him. The three of you jog away towards the line of the trees and take shelter under the branches, just as you hear a chopper approaching. Its searchlight illuminates the wrecked van and moves towards you. Lay low. D'Angelo does his disappearing trick and vanishes from sight. You look to Tamika and almost do a double take when you see her submerged up to her neck in the soil. She then entirely disappears underground because she's a gangrel and she's awesome. You're left alone and with just seconds to make your move before the spotlight finds you. God damn it. Dive under a nearby bush. Seeing no better option, you just find the nearest bush and dive right under it. It's probably not the best or smartest thing to do, but you had to trust your gut. I sure did. Illumination passes just inches away from you, but it's just a pattern of light on the ground. The trees block a good portion of it. It doesn't dwell on you. It doesn't seem like they've spotted you or any of your companions. The helicopter flies on, the searchlight frantically moving through the vicinity as your companions once again appear in your proximity. Are we being hunted by the Second Inquisition? Is that what's going on? Nice job, kid. They seem to be moving on. Come on, before these SI fucks change their mind. Yeah. What's going on? What do they have to do with anything? Wait here, both of you. Tamika, fill them in. I'll go scout ahead. The SI nabbed you 2 days ago. They raided your haven, staked you while you slept, and took off with you. We only learned this last night from Kaiser of all kindred. Kaiser organized this? Why? Why would he do that? Dunno. I don't know the dude. From what I heard, he's no Samaritan, though. Hey, the limo's here. Come on, time to blow this joint. Kaiser's familiar car stops nearby, and the back seat opens. Your allies usher you inside and join you. Being inside this mobile fortress never felt like a relief, until now. Hey, Fledgling. Missed me? Not really, but I'm glad you're here. Well, I'm not overly fond of breaking licks out of covert SI transports, so I consider this an investment. That was a civilian transport. No convoy, nothing. I expected more resistance. What? You wanted to sharpen those claws of... What, you wanted more to sharpen those claws of yours on? Don't worry, you might still get it. Maybe even regret it. Things are afoot, as the adage goes. Anyway, listen up, Huddy. You are here now, only because I told your buddies that you were neck-deep in shit. That van you were in? A one-way ticket to Hurtville, Pennsylvania. I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me big. Yeah, why did I sleep through 2 days and not wake up? The Inquisition aren't dumb. They broke into your place in the middle. Oh, that's right, they staked me. They told me that. Idiot. I'm stupid. They broke into your place in the middle of the day and staked you as soon as they saw you. Bam. Paralyzed. I'm so dumb. Yeah, they literally told me that. Brought you to the cloisters and examined you a bit. If you've been walking funny, that's why. Lucky for you, I had an inside man loosen the stake a little bit before they packed you in. Wait, you have an inside man within the Second Inquisition? Furs blocking your pretty ears there, Stray? Yeah, I have somebody on the inside. As much as I'd like that, probably not the only one. I have a good idea of why the SI hit you, Huddy, now that there's not a bunch of good reasons for it. It might have been one of these, for instance. The screens in Kaisar's car flicker, and each of them is now showing a short, looped clip. It's you, getting into a fight, feeding, using one of your powers. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, Fledgling. Get it, you're new to this, you didn't know better, yada yada yada. The fact is, the SI has tons of the stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers, social media posts from victims, you name it. Like I said though, I don't think any one of these did you in. Slip-ups happen. Not to you though, huh? I always wondered, how is it that you can drive in a pompously luxurious limo around New York City and nobody got to you yet? What's your secret? Body doubles? Decoy cars? Kaiser smiles, going for that anthropomorphic piranha look you saw a few times before. Piranha's also spelled wrong, I think. You do know what killed the cat, don't you, Mr. Finch? D'Angelo freezes and scratches his face, looking fiercely at the other Nosferatu. You notice his hands are shaking. Well, do you? Stop flaking on the upholstery and answer. Or should I use your given name, too? Yeah, I know why the cat croaked. You would, wouldn't you? You've never seen D'Angelo serve anyone a death stare quite like the one he's shooting Kaiser now. As much as I enjoy tempering your overinflated ego, we're nearing our destination, so I think I'll move on. The reason why I need you walking and talking, Huddy, is to test a hypothesis of mine. For that, I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. So first things first, here. He hands you a phone. The number is already chosen for you. You hear the tone, somebody picks up. Who is this? It's me, Sophie. Huddy, are you okay? They're fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone and your protege is using it. So keep it snappy. Operating a secured network ain't cheap. Come on, Huddy, spit it out. I got captured by the SI. I'm sorry. SI? That's what I feared. Listen, the plan. We need to do it tonight. But if the Inquisition is involved and you broke out, they'll be looking for you, so we can't meet in public. I have a place in mind, but Kaiser, are you still listening? Would I tell you if I wasn't? Huddy, call this number from where you visited before last we spoke. I'll come pick you up. She hangs up. And that's that. Gotta tell you, kid, this entire conversation got my curiosity, all right? Yes, I feel like I've missed the part where you were involved in some conspiracy. Ha! Them, you, me, D'Angelo, here, and every other kindred in this goddamn city, and everywhere else as far as I know. We'll talk more after our mutual acquaintance carries on with their night. If my intel is worth a damn, your next stop, Huddy, is right about here. The car comes to a stop and the door opens. Outside you see the street leading to the Solids and Stripes, Torque's Pool Pub. Well, you need me to kick you out? What about my companions? What about D'Angelo and Tamika? What about them? They're staying right where they are, and we're gonna have a little chat. After we're done, I'm sure they'll find their way back to their havens just fine. The clock is ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants to do tonight, and if I'm right, tonight's the last chance you've got. You want to say bye to your buddies before you go? That's fine by me. But that schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so you better do it now and scram. And say your goodbyes. You say your goodbyes quickly and step out of the car. It feels strange, as if it were your last moments together. You shake off that feeling. You have other things to worry about. Is this the end of the game? Because if it is, I'm bummed. Kaiser is an ass, yes, but he's a Nosferatu, and his info is on point, so you can't really be mad at him. You turn around and make your way to the bar. The door closes behind you, and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high of a price for helping you. The Solids and Stripes is pretty much abandoned tonight. Just the bartender and one bleary-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar's screen. I knew it was a Bogart movie. I knew it. You ask to use the phone and call Sophie first. Yes. I'm at the bar. Good. We'll be there in 15 minutes. If Torque's not there, notify him. We need to move and fast. She hangs up. You tell the bartender to notify Torque, just like the Anarch leader mentioned you should. The man makes a short call. You only hear somebody picking up, but no words exchanged. The owner's on his way right now. Can I get you anything while you're waiting? Do you serve the special stuff? The bartender raises an eyebrow. The special reserve, you mean? Sorry, I can only serve that for a narrow selection of the owner's friends. I am one of his friends. I don't care. I'm hungry. Give me something to eat. Come on, I won't tell anybody. Just a sip of the good stuff. Yeah, okay, but just a little, okay? So they don't notice any of it missing. He takes out a bottle from a safe behind the counter and pours a bit of brown liquid into a glass. It's whiskey. Damn. Your disappointment is palpable. At least the smell is nice. Torque comes in some 10 minutes later without Mia. He tips his hat to you, puts a hand on the bleary-eyed patron's shoulder, and says something to him under his breath. They both laugh. Marty, how's the night going? Quiet, sir. Just how you like it, huh? Torque notices the untouched glass with a bit of whiskey in it that you persuaded the bartender to pour. For me, you shouldn't have. Yeah, I figured this is the end, which is such a bummer because I don't want it to be over. He takes the glass and drinks the liquid, moving it around in his mouth before swallowing. He looks you in the eye. Sure, I won't keep it in forever, but the night when I don't enjoy the taste of good whiskey is a night when I will truly consider myself damned. Well, Huddy, I believe you wanted me here for a reason. Let's hear it. You're about to tell him what brought you here when the doors to the bar open and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. The patron's eyes are now glued to her, and so are the bartender's. Torque isn't happy with the sight. Well, this isn't what we agreed on, Huddy. Care to explain? We had to improvise. Things got complicated. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Huddy already told you why I'm here. Not in any detail, and the circumstances of our meeting were supposed to be different. So, Miss Langley, tell me why I shouldn't ask you to leave and kick your protege while I'm at it. You will like what I have to say. Yeah, and I heard that line 100 times, but 99 out of those ended with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight. We are wasting time. There is a unique opportunity we should take advantage of, and we only have an hour or so to discuss it before it will be time to act. My driver is waiting outside. Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Mia. That was the deal. Second, it's Huddy who was supposed to do the driving, not your servant. Both serve me, so it's really of little difference. The circumstances changed and we had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. I have a secure spot in mind where we can talk. I'll stop you right there. Torque is seething, but he's keeping a lid on his anger. His voice barely changes. My conditions were clear. The way I hear it, you want to break each one of them. I see no reason at all to agree to any of this. I believe I will be staying put tonight. You have places to be, yes? Torque, you're throwing away the only chance you have at challenging Callahan. Don't be a fool. The lid comes off. Call me a fool one more time, woman, and that's not the only thing I'm gonna be throwing. Sophie, Torque's right. I don't know. You're both acting like children. Just leave him alone. He's obviously not in a place to listen. Sophie, Torque's right. This does sound like a setup. I wouldn't trust you either in this situation. You dare! She slaps you. Fast, hard. The sound reverberates in the mostly empty bar. Torque smiles. See, Huddy? That's the cam in a nutshell. You obey them to the letter, or they put you in your place. It's Sophie who's seething now. I don't have any more time for this charade. Fine. Stay here, both of you, if that's what you want to do. What was I thinking? Risking my reputation for you, Huddy. Shots break the front windows, and a flashbang goes off in the room, changing the bar into a space of white light and ringing noise. You feel somebody tugging on your back and are thrown behind the bar. More shots ring out, bottles breaking, the TV shattering into pieces, the wooden bar splintering. Your sight comes back, but you think you've gone deaf, because suddenly the room is silent. You see Torque beside you and Marty, the bartender, bleeding out on the floor. You look over the bar. Sophie is standing there, her dress partially tattered, a visible hole in her leg. She is like the heart of a supernova, entrancing, unavoidable, beautiful, and terrifying. In front of her, 8 operatives, looking like a private military force, just standing there, paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. Torque, you still there? Yeah. Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality? Sure thing. The Anarch is gone. It's a blink of an eye, and he reappears next to one of the soldiers. The armor-clad operative's head disappears in a puff of blood and bone. The same thing happens to the second, the third. You hear the radios go off on the other soldiers' shoulders, a panicked voice pleading them to wake up. The fourth head pops, the fifth. They finally realize what's happening, but it's just too late. The sixth man is beheaded by what you see now is just Torque's bare-fisted punch. Torque stops by, I believe that's potence he's using. Torque stops by the seventh man, rips something off his neck, and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him kneel in front of her before biting as well. On your right, a man in full body armor emerges from the back door, raising his assault rifle. What the fuck? Shield Torque and Sophie, yes. It's not smart, but it's what your instincts tell you to do. You jump in front of the soldier just as he pulls the trigger. Bullets sink into your body, ripping and tearing your flesh, each projectile a microbomb exploding inside you. A combat knife crashes through the soldier's visor and into his skull. You turn around, Torque is grinning. He mouths something under his breath. Langley? Sophie wipes her mouth of blood and looks at him. That meeting's still an item? Yes. I'll take it. Splendid. Torque walks behind the bar and checks on the bartender. You see the Anarch open his own wrist and feed blood to the wounded man. Drink up, Marty. It'll make you feel better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming and she'll know what to do. Torque? Yeah, going. Take the back door. Huddy, come on. You slink back into an alley behind the bar, leaving 10 bodies and one grievously wounded ghoul behind. Nobody stops you from circling around the block and finding your way to Sophie's car. Gregory drives away, casually, as if this was just another late-night drive and not the crowning of a desperate, complicated evening. Sophie brings you all to a luxurious apartment in Manhattan's Upper West Side. The way she explains it, the vampire who owned it left the city a few years ago and gave away spare keys to a few trusted compatriots. It has been used sporadically since. Fancy. You like it? I always felt too modern for my tastes. But what's important is that it's secure. As long as nobody followed your car here, or the Fledgling, trouble follows this one wherever they go. Even if that's the case, we have very little time to conduct our business here anyway, and we'll be leaving soon, I hope. So let's begin. Need some water first. I'll just let them talk. You look to because got Sophie mad already. You look to Sophie, excited. Finally, you will learn what it is that you've been working towards for more than a week, and what it is that Kaiser wanted you to participate in. I have it on good authority that Boss Callahan is blood-bound to Prince Panhard. That's interesting. Interesting. Torque sucks in air loudly. That's an accusation and a half there, Langley. Got proof? No, but we're just a boat ride away from getting it. What is that supposed to mean?
Huddy, the address that I procured from Kaiser was the meeting spot for Panhard's and the Baron's regular sharing of blood and other bodily fluids if the rumors are true.
Wait, Kaiser knew about this? Is there anything that insufferable clump of dead skin doesn't know in this city?
He knows things, but only shares them if you pay. Neither the prince nor Callahan can touch him. He's too useful.
Kaiser said saving me was in his interest. Having plans for me. That can't be good, right?
That is an interesting point. I think Kaiser might be as interested in shaking up the status quo as we are. A chaotic landscape makes for a great market for him, unlike a static one.
I don't like playing into that creep's hand, but at least now I know what I'm doing. The devil you know and all that. What was the address he gave you?
They meet regularly at Ellis Island. In fact, their next scheduled meeting starts in just around half an hour.
Hot damn. I'm guessing you want to crash that meeting. Why?
So you can see the proof for yourself, so that I can make sure too, and so that I have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present to her my ultimatum. The prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she pleases, but if she stays, the entire court will know, and the next prince might not look favorably on her past. Dealing with anarchs, especially so closely, is a punishable offense in the Camarilla. I'm sure you've heard.
And so I did. Torque strokes his beard and looks intently at Sophie. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? You remove Panhard and even say I remove Callahan? Then what?
Torque, did you ever wonder why Callahan is keeping you in check? Because I wondered why the prince condemns anarchs during her visits to Elysium, but doesn't allow the Ivory Tower to challenge you. She or they have engineered this status quo not for the good of their sex, but for private gain. They keep us all in line because it lets them hold on to power that much longer.
And your goal is what? Make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. You cammies will get your butts kicked out of New York City in no time.
If you anarchs manage to organize, which I doubt you will. At any rate, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. This entire operation has been years in the making. I'm offering you a chance to square things with Callahan, Torque, and level the playing field. We get rid of these two, and we start from equal footing for the next stage of this dance macabre.
Why am I here, though? What's it got to do with me? I understand you needed me to set this meeting up, but why am I listening to all of this?
It's a precaution. In a way, it's a shame this Mia you told me of couldn't make it in time to listen to this too.
I can still call her, but she'll probably be an hour before she gets here.
We can't wait that long. You will have to suffice, Huddy. I am risking the prince's or even Callahan's wrath. While I don't think they will dare to lay a finger on me, another set of eyes to watch over the meeting can't hurt. And I did promise I would explain everything in time, haven't I? You know, all those years spent in Callahan's shadow and taking part in all the kindred dick-measuring contests should make me expect a ruse, just a ploy to kill me in some out-of-the-way place. That's our inherent paranoia talking through. My gut tells me it's time to get this show started. I do hope you have a boat nearby, Langley. Sophie smiles mischievously. Of course I do. It's waiting for us by the pier. Lead the way, then. Moonlight's burning. The three of you leave the apartment and walk towards the pier. Nobody seems to be following you. You get on a small patrol boat and double time it through the Hudson's cold, dark waters. I need to take a really quick bathroom break. I know it's getting exciting. This is like the end of the game, but I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back.
Out of all the meeting places in New York City where the prince and the baron could be meeting, it's Ellis Island, a landmark with a dark past, a museum on one hand, a dilapidating piece of history on the other. You leave the boat and make your way to the southern part of the island, paying no heed to the renovated tourist attractions on the northern side. You expected some resistance, a night guard, a helicopter flying overhead, or an NYPD patrol boat. Nothing. The island seems completely deserted. It's clear this sets Sophie on edge. She's moving as quietly and subtly as ever, but you can see she's eager to reach the particular house her intel pointed out. Torque is following suit, grimly determined, flashing his piercing gaze all around, still clearly uncertain that this isn't some kind of scheme. Finally, you see it. Light coming from a window in one of the buildings on the edge of the island. The three of you slowly creep near the building and take a look inside the window. There it is. Callahan, kneeling in front of the prince, sucking on Panhard's wrist, both fully clothed, a small blessing, yes, thank God. Torque makes his move, and before Sophie can stop him, he busts through the building's doors. It happens very quickly. Torque grabs Callahan by the shoulders and throws him through the still open door. Callahan hits the ground hard. Torque appears on top of him and starts punching. "You fucker! You piece of shit!" "Stop!" The prince's voice takes hold for just long enough to have Torque relent, which the Baron uses to the fullest, kicking Torque off and taking advantage of the situation by trying to bite in. "Prince, call off your lapdog." "Langley, what is the meaning of this?" The two anarchs break apart, both wounded, but none of them quite done yet. They look at one another with pure hatred. "Kill the bitch, Helene, but leave the fledgling to me. Right after I deal with this shit stain, I'm gonna..." A shrill, unpleasant laughter fills the air. You know who it belongs to. So entertaining. Truly, it feels almost a shame to break up this spectacle, but alas. "Thomas? The fuck is this joker?" "Ah yes, I don't think we met, though I did hear a lot about you, Mr. Torque. My name is Thomas Otoro, and I..." Callahan uses this moment of uncertainty to strike. He's still too slow for Torque, who throws the boss onto the lawn, and the two exchange blows again. Helene, if you would be so kind and ask your friend not to hurt our guest too much." "Callahan, don't kill him." This time, Callahan comes on top and, and grabs Torque in an iron hold. Your companion struggles, but can't quite break away. "I will not be denied, Helene. Not this time." "You will do as I command." "And she will do as I command her, Douglas, old boy." "What?" "Like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I feel like I need to break up this little spectacle. It's been going on for much too long." "You think you're so smart, Langley. You and your little clique. Figured out that there was something fishy going on all on your own. But you always were working with just a piece of the puzzle. Wasn't she, Huddy?" Sophie looks to you, shocked and disappointed. I don't know what he's talking about. "What I'm talking about? Of course you don't. Of course. How could you? Only I knew. And your sire. They're the ones who agreed to embracing you, after some negotiations." You hear a scream and a curse. It's Callahan, whose arm has been nearly ripped off his body. Torque breaks out of the Baron's grasp, but doesn't continue the attack. Yeah, plot twist. Plot twist. Instead, he's at the edge of the water in the blink of an eye and disappears into the Hudson. The only trace left of him is his fedora hat. Oh no, Torque. Another actor going off script at the very end, eh? No matter. Let him bring us some amusement now that the production is almost wrapped up. He'll reach his allies. He'll tell everyone of this. Helene, even if we naively assume his nights aren't numbered, or now that he's in the SI's sights, the show must go on one way or another. Won't hurt to encourage leaks and speculation. Sophie looks at you. How could you, Huddy? I saved you. Otoro chortles to himself. Langley. What happened to your self-esteem? You can't really think a simple neonate has outplayed you, or maybe this oblivious act is your way of groveling for mercy. Thomas, what? You thought that being an expert chess player would always be enough. You never realized that people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face whenever they don't like how the game is going. He motions to the remaining kindred. But the thing is, you weren't even adept at playing the game you knew. Huddy? Just another pawn, placed on the board by my associate. You thought you were the piece since you took them in, but who gave you that idea? You returned to the night when you were judged by Prince Panhard, the woman in red, Sophie, somebody speaking to her, a man in glasses, the man standing before you now. This is cruel. We know what's going to happen. If only somebody spoke up for the poor child, they could be a useful tool for the Camarilla. Terror creeps onto Sophie's face. Of course, those were not the words you heard, were they? No, you were already grasping for some opportunity to further your scheme. I put the bait out, and you took it. Hook, line, and sinker. After that, it was a matter of time before you started using Huddy as your errand girl. Nobody is quite as easy to track and monitor as a naive fledgling who just learned the ropes. What is it you want, Thomas? What do I want? Oh boy, the answer is so simple but so hard to put into words. Yeah, conspiracy shocker, totally. Unstable stability, cutting-edge tales of thrills and intrigue that push it to the limit, and then return you to the tried and tested status quo, gently, infallibly. A system full of distracting moving parts which simulate conflicts so convincingly that the users never feel the need to direct their energy towards upsetting the system. Achieving the eternal through the disposable. Building a city that's like a ship of Theseus, constantly changing its parts, yet always maintaining the same purpose, serving the same goal at all times. A large-scale infrastructure that has something like an exhaust system for the spirit, something that disperses the toxicity around instead of concentrating it in a single place. None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense. Arturo is momentarily stopped in his tracks. He stares into the ceiling for a few seconds before a sad grin appears on his face. Spoken like someone who's never really had what it takes to make it in the big leagues. With a theatrical snap of his fingers, he gives his last sentence a sense of finality. Something's changed in the air. You could swear you saw a shadow move behind Sophie. Goodbye, Sophie. A disheveled woman with what looks to be garden shears appears behind Sophie. Command the assassin to stop. Boom. Stop. Do they? Oh, who are you? You hear the shears click. Sophie's red hair conceals her face as her head falls, separated from her shoulders. Oh, now I kind of wish I kissed her. If I knew she was going to be dead. Silence. Arturo's unpleasant laughter erupts right next to you. Oh, Huddy, your career is moving at a breakneck pace, moving up and up and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. You killed her. He didn't, though whoever was behind her killed her. What do you want? What is it that you want? Because you sound like a goof, okay? What do you want from me? What's the rush? I was about to get to that. Helene, feel free to leave us and take the Baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should. Shush! You're just being jealous. Adelaide, escort the prince and dear old Douglas, please. Who is Adelaide? Sure thing, darling. You are left alone next to Sophie's body. You try not to look, but it's hard to ignore her lithe frame decomposing in front of your eyes. Congratulations! You've won this little game. Set out on a suicide mission and successfully brought down the power-hungry wannabe tyrant, even if it probably wasn't the way you've imagined it. Her red dress is like a cloth thrown over a mummified corpse. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again. Life after death, immortality, eternal youth. What they don't tell you is, of course, living in paradise is inherently sinful, but not everyone can partake. But you have time to learn how to live with sin, don't you? He takes a melancholic look at the city skyline surrounding him, the Statue of Liberty and the lights of Manhattan shimmering in the distance. You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My unlife began right here, and it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in books and keep reading and reading until literature gave me the piece of wisdom I needed to go on. Personally, I find reading a silly hobby in retrospect. I always had this minuscule hope that the next sentence I'd read could finally bring me salvation, but it never did. It only gave me fuel for this elevated, righteous, intellectual suffering. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil every paragraph down to a power relationship. The characters' influence over each other, the writer trying to impress the reader, etc. The strings everyone pulls started to look like strands that weave into the fabric of fate, and once I saw its beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked into overdrive. I didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine, give it my input wherever needed until it trusted me to do more. Thomas steps over what's left of Sophie, wiping his glasses with an elegant cloth from his pocket. And it did. Fate let me look after the city. With my architect's tools, I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors, while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. And among many tools this process gave me, one of them was a way to reliably come up with useful agents like you. The methods I used were crude at times, but the route was there. All you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebook passages. The others plan city arteries. In the end, the effect is the same. Someone always follows. He puts on the glasses and gives you a long, hard look. You know, I've grown fond of you. You did so well. Even when that idiot Callahan tipped the Inquisition off, you still got out. I like that kind of resourcefulness. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. He uncovers his wrist. So take my blood. Just enough so that we can start off on the right foot, as a sign of good faith. A sign that you're ready to play in the big leagues, ready to behold the sights I've prepared for you. What do you say, Huddy? That's the end. No! Oh no! That's the end? That's how it ends? Oh no! Oh God! How long? How long do I have to wait for more? Yeah, Thomas was the dark silhouette talking at the beginning of the game. Why did he do it? Because he's obviously crazy. That's why he did it. Because he's crazy. Oh no! I never got to see Kadir again. I never got to find out. Is Adelaide Davis the person who's stalking us that I never got to finish that quest? How do I get out of this? How does this? Whoop, whoop. Hold escape to. Hold escape. Yeah, skip that. And that's it. Oh no. Okay, well that's where I'm gonna end the stream, ending it like 15 minutes early. A blood bond, maybe it would have been better to have been friends with Agathon. I don't know. What about Kadir? You don't get to choose it. Literally the game just ends. Yeah. It's so sad. And I was told there was romanceable stuff in here, but maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. I'll probably play again through it privately really, really quick. And if there's any romanceable stuff with Kadir, I might just post that on my channel for everyone to see. I don't really know. I'm kind of bummed. I'm kind of bummed that it's over. It's so short. Yeah. I just realized something about this picture, though, that's kind of wrong. Her finger's going through her own face. I don't know if it's supposed to be doing that. It's not over her lips, it's like through her face, which is super creepy. What did I think of the ending? In a way, Agathon could find a way for you to escape Arturo's grasp. I'm pretty sure from what I've read that the ending is the same. There's no like alternative endings as far as I know from the small amount of spoilers I have gotten. In general, I think the game is a little bit too heavy-handed in terms of the dialogue, in terms of what's going on around you. I don't think it eases you into the game as well as it should. But for me,
me personally, it's not that way, just because I have a lot of knowledge about Vampire the Masquerade. But I feel like for the average person, it's a little bit too heavy-handed. It's a little hard to navigate for somebody who's not familiar with it. And other than that, it would just be that you need to... I'm bummed that you can't visit everybody before the end. I don't think there should have been a cap on how many nights before the end. I don't think those types of things should have been triggered until you had done all of the quote-unquote extra stuff, is how I feel about that. It reminds me a lot of, which really not, but the concept reminds me a lot of the original Fallout game, where you had an invisible ticker, which would tick down how many days until your vault would run out of water. And then once you got your vault a source of water, then it would have an invisible ticker, at least the original game, until the mutants would start like going through town to town to town on your way to your vault to kill everybody. You know, and you couldn't see it and you didn't know. And it was like the game was punishing you for exploring and, you know, doing side quests and stuff. So in this, I sort of feel a little bit punished as a player for wanting to meet all the different people, do all the different things. And yeah, I feel a little bit punished. I don't know if that's being too dramatic, but that's a little bit how I feel right now. The ending is too quick and sudden, so it just can preserve the status quo of the 5th edition. I hate it when a game takes away your agency. Is that her tongue? Oh my god, I thought it was her finger. I swear, the whole time I've been looking at this, that it's her finger. Oh my god. That's so funny. I don't know if that's necessarily what it is, the status quo of the 5th edition. I don't know if that's necessarily what it is. I think maybe the game was rushed out, because I know there was a week prior where it was supposed to be released a week prior, and then they pushed it back a week. So I don't know if maybe they had struggling with finishing the game in some capacity. I'm hoping there'll be more DLC coming soon. Should have multiple endings, yes. I do agree about taking away the agency, though. When I play RPG games, the most important thing for me, besides the story and the characters, is definitely that your choices matter. I love games where my choices matter. Just like Bloodlines, I love that I could choose to be a total moron and accept LaCroix's offer or Ming Zhao's offer and just be a total idiot. I like having that sort of choice of being stupid. I like feeling like the choices that I make have some sort of impact on the game. But they don't seem to here. It seems to be just small deviations in the path that lead to the same place, which is a little bit disappointing. But I'm not trying to knock the game very much, because I think in essence it's really well done. I just think there could have been things different. Maybe if they got some different perspectives from different types of video game players, it might have been a little bit better. Yeah, I'm bummed there's no multiple endings either. Yeah, Frank didn't necessarily have to die. That is something that you can, because I saw in my achievements, Charles, that you can actually have him live and get an achievement for it, so. No, I'm definitely not. That's why I say I don't really want to knock the game at all. It's definitely not something along the lines of Bloodlines 2. I just think even more so, the flags that you would have to put into the code would be even easier with a visual novel game as opposed to a large, massive scale game, AAA game like Bloodlines 2. So I think it's sort of a missed opportunity that they didn't insert those types of flags and insert those types of if this happens, then this, or if this didn't happen, then this, inserting those types of things in there. It's just a missed opportunity, in my opinion. I can only hope that in the future, I hope this game has sold well. I haven't looked into how well it sold. And I hope that they can come out with some really awesome DLC. I hope that they can expand on the story of your original character. And I hope that they allow you to expand on the stories of the characters that you didn't get to meet. However, having said that, I am noticing my screen says load, and I can't go to it, which means that nothing of your game is saved. So that means the story of Huddy that we just witnessed over the last 5 days or whatever is gone. There's no loading anymore. So that's a little disappointing as well, that your save game doesn't get saved. Well, maybe we'll get to kill Callahan at some point. Frank is the reporter who's trying to look into the story of Sophie and why she's so old and stuff. Werewolf DLC? Totally. There is the werewolf game that's coming in 2020. Werewolf the Apocalypse, which I will also be streaming. And in case anybody doesn't... That's really all I have to say about the game. I think there was a lot of glaring missed opportunities in it. I think it's a beautiful game in general. I think they really tried to capture the essence of what it's like to be a vampire in modern New York City. I think they did that extremely well. The art, gorgeous, fantastic. Missed opportunities, a lot of them, and they're kind of big. Having said that, the second any DLC drops, I will be purchasing it immediately. Yeah, the save file is deleted. That is a huge problem for me. That is an absolutely huge problem. Because it says to me that any DLC that they would make would not be continuing the story. So that's a huge problem for me. Not that I have a problem playing through it again. But when Bloodlines 2 comes out, of course, I will be streaming it just like I've streamed Coteries of New York. The same thing goes with Werewolf the Apocalypse. Once Werewolf the Apocalypse drops next year, I will also then be starting Werewolf lore. In addition to doing my Vampire Masquerade lore, I will also be doing Werewolf lore. So, look forward to that. And until then, every Monday is Masquerade Monday, every Tuesday is Tomb Raider Tuesday. I make videos multiple times a week, so be sure to check out what I have on my channel if you haven't already. And I hope everybody has an awesome night. And thank you so much for watching this stream. I'll keep everybody posted if any new DLCs drop, when they'll drop, and you know I will be playing them minutes after I purchase them. Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome night. Bye.